Okay, so welcome back everyone. This is going to be a part 3 video of order of operations, and I want to make sure that we understand all the basics. So let's go ahead and work out some problems. Yesterday there was a couple of videos that we did that involved more, grouping terms, like multiple sets of grouping terms, and exponents and absolute values. So we're going to kind of continue that, okay? So here we have this particular problem. All right, so this is going to be, let's see, times -6 minus 4 minus the absolute value of 2 squared minus 5 times 2. All right, and that's going to be a bracket. Okay, let me just make sure this is correct. That's 6. All right, that looks good. Okay, so here's what we need to do. We have an absolute value sign here inside a set of brackets. Okay, so we want to work everything inside the brackets, and inside those brackets, the absolute value sign definitely is very important. So if we go ahead and do that, all right, 2 squared, okay, is going to be 4 minus 10. Okay, so we can do -5 times 2, which is -10, and then 2 squared is 4. So I hope everyone's comfortable with exponents by now. And then we're just going to go ahead and simplify this even further, okay? So that's going to be 2 plus 4 goes -4 minus 10 is minus 6. All right. All right, so if you're taking 4, why did I put a parenthesis there? I'm telling you, I need to make that an absolute value. Okay, so let me just fix that. Okay, again, when we do this part right here, all right, we're still keeping the absolute value. Okay, because 4 minus 10 is minus 6. Okay, and then we'll address the absolute value after that. Okay, so here's what we do. As we go left to right, we can go ahead and clear this parenthesis as well. 4 times minus 6 is minus 24. Okay? And then the absolute value of minus 6 is just going to be 6. Okay, see what I did there? So I got rid of the absolute value, and then I got rid of the other parenthesis next to the 4. Okay? So let's see what this adds up. Let's see what this simplifies in the brackets, okay? So let's take a look at this for a moment. And let's see if we can simplify it. 2 minus 24, that would be a minus 22. Okay, if you take the difference, 24, if you take 24 and you subtract 2, you get 22, and then you keep the negative of the bigger number, which is 24, and then the answer is minus 22. It's a little bit of a shortcut in handling subtraction of integers, okay? Negative 22 minus 4 more is minus 26. And then minus 26, take away 6 more, is minus 32. Now here we're going to distribute the negatives, so that is going to equal -4 plus 32 and that's going to yield 28. Okay, so definitely a process, but 28 is our answer. Okay, this is the first example. Okay, let's see if we can do another one. All right, let's see if we can do another one. Okay, so we have minus 3, take away, and braces 3, take away, open bracket, minus 3, open parenthesis, 2 plus 4, closed parenthesis, minus, open parenthesis, minus 2, closed parenthesis, closed bracket, closed brace. Okay? And you're probably saying, oh my God, there's a lot of grouping terms in here, right? But I want you to think about this, okay? I want you to think of these brackets, right? And everything inside the brackets, we're going to do first. We're going to clear this parenthesis and this parenthesis, okay? We're going to work for the most inner set of parentheses, and we're going to work our way out, all right? So here we have minus 3 minus, open parenthesis, 3, open bracket. Now 2 plus 4 is going to be 6. And then a negative times a negative 2 is a plus 2. So we can get rid of that set of parentheses. And then now just continue working outward. We're going to distribute those two quantities. Okay. And I'm just copying everything down. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18 plus 2, close bracket, close parenthesis. Okay, and now negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. All right, and now the reason why I didn't get rid of the bracket around the negative 16 is because I have to distribute these two negative signs. There's an invisible minus 1 there. They're just not going to write it. So a negative 1 times a negative 16 turns into a positive 16. Okay. And then 3 plus 16 is what? 19? Okay. And now there's an invisible minus 1 here, so we have to kind of distribute that. Okay. We have to distribute that. So when you do that, you get minus 3, minus 19. You can drop the braces. And then again, when you have a negative integer and you're subtracting more, just go ahead and add the numbers and keep the negative. So 3 plus 9 is 12, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, and then we're going to keep the negative, okay? So that'll be negative 22. All right? So it's kind of like if you owe me 3, borrow 19 more, now you owe me 22. Owing, the negative meaning you owe, you have debt below 0, right? So just kind of think of that way. And then your answer is negative 22. All right, let's do another one. All right, and so okay, write it by bracket. Okay, and with these particular problems, you have to be very careful, very mindful of your negatives. It's so easy to lose track of a negative, you know, I've done it before, it happens, okay? As long as you realize what you did, fix it, it's no problem. So we'll try to be as cautious as we can when we do this. All right, you notice that we have a pair of parentheses here, and then we have a bracket, and then we have some inner parentheses here that we need to take care of, okay? So let's go ahead and take care of negative 7 minus 5, okay? That's just going to give me minus 12. It's going to be completely independent on the right here. All right, and then minus 2, minus 2. Now, remember, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that turns into a positive 6. And now we can continue simplifying. Okay, minus 2 more is minus 4. Okay, minus 4 plus 6 is 2, right? Okay, and we can get rid of the brackets. I don't know why I put them there, but you can actually get rid of them. Once you perform the operation in the brackets and get it down to one number, you could just clear the brackets completely. And then this really reads negative 12 divided by 2. Remember, this is a plus 2, so a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay? So that would be the answer. That would be 6. All right? Okay, let's do this example. Okay, so again we have two sets of parentheses. I'm going to start with the left, and inside the left set of parentheses I'm going to take care of this exponent. All right, so all right, remember 2 cubed is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which in fact will give me 8, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 gives me 8. So we're going to replace that with an 8. Okay, and we really don't need this parenthesis, so we can just go ahead and rewrite it without it, because you're dividing by a negative 4, and that's the same thing as saying it without those parentheses. So you can justify that by just getting rid of them. All right, and then when we look inside the left set of parentheses, this is all multiplication from left to right, so I'm going to multiply these two. Okay, negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. And then just continue multiplying these two. And then that's going to be a minus 32. We don't need the parentheses because we performed the operation of multiplication. And you can write this as 32 divided by negative 4. Remember, a negative and a negative is a positive. Okay? And this is going to be a positive 8. All right? So positive 8 your final answer for that one. All right, let's do another one. Okay. So here we have negative 6 plus, in parentheses, negative 3 minus 3 squared divided by the absolute value of 3. You notice that we have absolute value, that's high priority, and everything in the parentheses is high priority. So we're going to address both of those. Okay. Negative 3 times, minus 3 more is minus 6. Okay, and the absolute value of 3 is a positive 3. So we can drop the absolute value there. And then we're going to continue identifying the exponent. We have to get rid of this parenthesis by writing it like this, right? Negative 6 squared is equivalent to saying negative 6 times negative 6. The exponent 2 is telling you to multiply this base twice. And that's going to give you a positive 36. So we're going to write that as a positive 36. We really don't need the parentheses anymore because this is positive, all right? Now when you read this from left to right, we should be doing division over addition. Remember that? So 36 divided by 3 okay, is going to be 12. And when you do negative 6 plus 12, you're going to get 6 as your final answer. Okay? And that's what that would be. That would be positive 6. Okay? So, let's continue. All right? Let's go ahead and do another problem. Let me see what number this was. Number 5, so number 6. Okay, let's do another one that's a little more involved. Alright, so we have 3 minus 6, open bracket, minus 2, minus 1, minus 3, close parenthesis, close bracket. Alright, so we have a lot here. We have a set of brackets to the right, and then we have a pair of parentheses inside that, so that needs to be addressed first, okay? So technically we should follow that order, and we'll worry about the other operations in a little bit later. Okay? All right. A minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. And you notice I didn't drop the parentheses yet because there's 2 signs that I have to distribute here. Okay? So minus 6, minus 2. A negative and a negative is a positive 4. So watch the sign change. That's very important. Okay? That's very important. All right. And then we're going to continue. Simplify everything in those brackets. Okay? Whoops. Notice I'm not doing anything else. I'm just fixated on those brackets, getting everything simplified. Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. And then now in order to get rid of the brackets, we need to distribute that 6 over the 2, over the brackets, okay? So that's going to leave you with 2 times negative 3 plus 3. Minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. And then we can get rid of these. This reads 2 times negative 3, so that's going to yield negative 6 plus 3 minus 12. And negative 6 plus 3 is a minus 3. Okay? And then minus 3 minus 12 is minus 15. Okay? So we're able to solve that one. All right? Okay. I think we should do more. Just do another one. Okay? So let's see. Okay, so what do we think we should do here? Again, parentheses should immediately catch your attention, so we should simplify everything in those parentheses. Minus 5 plus 6 is a 1. Okay, and then to get rid of that parenthesis, we're going to distribute. 5 times 1 is 5 times 6 squared. See how I eliminated that set of parentheses? And then my next goal now is to take care of the exponents. All right? All right, so remember, as a footnote, 6 squared equals 6 times 6, which we all know is 36. All right? Okay? And 5 times 36, I believe that's 180. Okay? Because if you do the arithmetic like this, 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 more is 18. So it checks, okay? So 180 is your answer for this particular problem, okay? So we want to do all kinds of problems here. Easy, medium, hard, okay? So number 8. All right, so here's a good one. Minus 13 minus 2. All right, and I'm going to divide this by 2 minus 1 cubed plus negative 6 minus, then we have bracket, open bracket, minus 1 minus a minus 3, closed bracket, okay? So how do we do that? All right, so here's what we do. All right, the numerator is going to be super easy. So we can go ahead and simplify that, but we're going to really focus on the brackets inside here, and inside the brackets we have this inner parenthesis that we could get rid of by distributing the two negatives there, okay? So here's what's going to happen. Let's do the numerator. Negative 13 minus 2 is easy. That's just going to be minus 15, okay? And then we have multiple sets of parentheses. We have one here we're going to distribute, and we're also going to get rid of this parenthesis by the exponent. So if you simplify everything inside these brackets, remember you have a minus 1 and a negative is a positive 3. So when you simplify that, okay, this is what is going to be inside the brackets. Well, when you do that, okay, that's just going to give you, all right, a minus 1 plus 3 is a positive 2. Okay, can you see what I did there? All right, let me just clean that up. All right, so, and then to get rid of that bracket, we're going to multiply this negative 1 by the positive 2. We're going to multiply a positive and a negative here, and then we're going to deal with the exponent. All right, so before we do that, okay, this is going to be negative 15 all over 2 minus 1 cubed. Now a positive and a negative is a negative, so we eliminated that pair of parentheses. A negative times a positive 2 is a negative 2, and we get rid of that pair of brackets. Okay, so it's coming out nicely. All right, whoops, that's a little bit too much there. All right, and then now the negative 1 cubed, we're going to have to deal with that, okay? So let's write that over here. Negative 1 cubed means that we have negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. That's going to equal a negative 1, because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. A negative and a negative here is a positive, and then we times that by a negative, and that's what gives me my negative sign. All right, so this is going to read 2 minus negative 1 minus 6 minus 2. Okay, so negative 1 cubed is still negative 1, which is why I still keep the parentheses to separate this outer negative, and then I'm going to multiply the two together. Okay, so that's going to be negative 15 all over negative and a negative is positive, that's 2 plus 1. Now minus 6 and minus 2. And now we can just continue simplifying the denominator. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3. All right. Now 3 take away 6 is minus 3. And then minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. Okay, so my answer is going to be, what is that, positive 3? Okay, so positive 3 looks correct. All right, that would be the final answer. Okay, so as you can see, we're doing all kind of problems here, and it just takes a lot of patience, a lot of. I'll tell you, the hardest part of this problem is keeping track of all those negatives. All right, that is the tricky part. Okay, that's what makes a problem a little more challenging. Is you generally see. Once you do enough of these, you generally see just about everything you could possibly see, right? Multiple parentheses, grouping terms like parentheses, brackets, braces, etc. But it's those negatives that tend to sneak up on you if you're not careful, and if you accidentally miss one of the negatives, unfortunately, it will just lead you to the wrong answer, even though other parts of the problem may be correct. Okay, so if any one step or sign is altered in the problem, then that could lead you to a wrong answer. So if that happens, let's say you're checking your work and I give you the answer and you're just not sure how to get it, try the problem again. Think of all the things I've just said, right? And see if you get a different answer. And I'll tell you, if you really focus, and you will identify your errors. You will eventually see your errors. At first, it may take a little longer, all right? But eventually, you will see it. And that's the main goal, is catch your errors, go back and fix them. And that's why it's so important to show all the steps to every one of these problems. So when you do the work, this is what you want, so you can identify where you may have gone wrong and correct it pretty easily, because you're able to identify where it is you made the mistake. All right? So this is going to conclude this lesson on order of operations. I hope this was helpful.